Okay, I've started this now. I'll put this on YouTube for you to have a look at later. So as I said, I was intending to start at 10, but circumstances unforeseen means I have to start it now. Well, there's 13 people here, so that's not so bad. Now, I had a lot of letters sent again after the session finished yesterday. No time to look at those. For today, I've got about 7 or 6, and I think there's actually more. But Dr. J, he just sent me some letters in a. He knows who's had letters assessed. I don't even take a look at the names. I just copy the text into a file. I check it out. I send it back. I'll leave the administration to Joseph. So if your letter is assessed or not, it's nothing personal. That's just how it goes. What comes onto my well, it's a desk, electronic. What comes on my electronic desk, that's what I do. I don't even look to see who is the author. I don't have time. So anyway, enough of this. Let's get on down to business. Let's that sounds better now. Let's turn off the camera. Right. So we'll do a screen share and we'll take a look. Now, where's my screen? We'll take a look at this. Okay. Right. Can you all see this? Can you see this? Can you see my screen now? I'll put the chat here so I can see it. Where's the chat box gone? Where is it? Ah, yes, that's right. So I've got the chat. Put the chat there. Get rid of that. So you can see it. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll have a look at the notes at first, then we'll go through the letters. So what have we got here then? So what's the task? Right, we need to write, I'll make it a little bigger so you can see it. Letter of referral, Dr. Sutton, requesting assessment and management plan. Okay, so assessment for decreasing respiratory functions, needs assistance with ADL. Okay, investigation, no objective. That's the next page. Retired, living wife and kids, used to smoke, quit 5 years ago. Okay. No drinking, some family history, but nothing to do with this. So let's see. Been in hospital 2014, 4 months of breathing. Hospitalized, so 2 years, 3 years. Hospitalized twice. Okay. Right, let's get on with it. So it should be this one. Okay. Right, now, as I say, I don't know whose these are. I just put them at random. And okay, I'll put the chat here. So what we'll do, we'll have a quick look through at each letter in turn. And then if you want to speak, if you've got any questions, what you can do, you can, where's the participants? Yeah. What you can do, you can raise your hand here, then I can turn your microphone on and you can speak, okay? So that's what we'll do. So we'll go through this at first and let me put the changes on. Okay, thank you for agreeing to consult. Are you consulting? Well, I don't think consult's the right right word. A consultation is when you go to see someone else for advice. So I don't know if consult's the right word. You want assessment. It's not a consultation as such as we would explain it. Okay. Consulting has been down CPD. He requires your assessment of medical condition. Do you think appropriate? Had smoked. Well, is 15 a day? Is that really heavy? Is it before he ceased it? Before he stopped or quit is better. QUIT, before he quit 5 years ago. Well, if he's quit, does it really matter? And I don't think that 14 a day is that heavy, but still. He has a positive, don't forget your articles, positive family history of COPD of his sister. Is that relevant directly? I mean, it's, if he was a smoker, possibly that might be more relevant than this. Okay, now I don't know if we need all this stuff here, right? The introduction, what we need. So, as I said before, and I will no doubt say again, you have to put yourself into the position of the recipient of this, right? What would you need? What would you need to know if you were reading this, right? So, do we need all this in the introduction? I don't know. Maybe not all of it. So, we need a reason for writing at first. I am writing to request that you do this. Can you assess this person, blah, 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 because I think this, I want you to confirm it. Okay, so initially he was diagnosed, since then he had had, why would you do this? He has had 2 attacks, infected exacerbation, who was hospitalized and treated accordingly. We don't need a comma after that. It was hospitalized and treated accordingly. I mean, we don't really need, we don't really need this either. I mean, he was treated unaccordingly. It wasn't treated well. That's taken for granted. So we don't need that. Today, he visited me complaining of decreased breathing, dyspnea, if that's how you say it, anxieties, reduction in activities they're living. Now, that is good. That's extremely good. Now, this is a good thing. Whenever you have abbreviations, it's always good the first time to spell it out, and then afterwards you can use it. ADL, ADL, etc. Yeah. So the same with this here. Don't draw on the screen, please. Thank you. All right. So, what I would have done, as you did here, is spell it out first, right? With blah, 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 and then you can refer to the abbreviation afterwards in the same way that you have done there, which is good. So it was decrease in breath sounds, investigation, therefore he has been planned. Why are you using this? Why are you using present perfect passive? He has been planned. It is planned, or he is scheduled, I think, is better instead of present perfect. Therefore, he is scheduled. That is better, I think. Scheduled for present perfect. Make it present. It's scheduled for a psychological assessment, reduction, and home option. Thank you, Crystal. Evaluation prepares measurement plan. Okay. That isn't bad. That's that's not bad. Let's just check the word count very quickly because we haven't got a lot of time. I want to get through 203 words. That's pretty good. Not too bad, not too bad. Now, because we don't have a lot of time, I'm not going to, go into this in the depth which possibly we should have. But does anybody have any questions? We've got to be quick for today. Don't have a lot of time. Anybody got any questions? If so, raise your hands and I'll turn your microphone on. Or you can type. So If you've got a question, you can type it here, or you can raise your hand here, and I'll turn your microphone on. Right, I take it that's a no. Well, I haven't got time. I take it that's a no. Nobody wants to say, oh, somebody does. Okay. I'll turn your microphone on, HS.
Yeah, actually, I want to ask that in investigation, it is given peak expiratory flow rate 320 and forced expiratory flow rate in one person is 47. Are we supposed to write something about this information? That's my question.
Well, I don't know. If it's pertinent and relevant, then yes. If you don't think it is, you don't have to. What more can I say? If you think it is pertinent, then okay. Good.
No, you see, it's related to the COPD. This is the case of COPD. So we should write something or information related to these respiratory tract, like peak flow rate, like spirometry informations they have already mentioned. So it would be worth if we give some information related to it. Like at present, they have given forced expiratory flow rate FEV 147. Previously, it was better. So now it has deteriorated. Previously it was 762 in 2017. Okay, so now it's 47. So are we supposed to compare these both things, like how much the patient has deteriorated in present condition?
Well, you don't, strictly speaking, need to show the level of deterioration. I suppose it will be sufficient for you to simply say that deterioration has occurred. You don't need to put in all the, the jargon of the details. And in fact, if you look at any of the examples, like Dr. Joe shared one from the Kaplan book yesterday, and that was an A, well, 450 to 500. And you don't have to put it, you don't have to put in every single thing, every detail. You can simply talk about how something has increased, has it decreased, is it significant? If you think it's significant, include it. There's more than one way to write a letter, right? There's no kind of standard. There's no, when the examiners assess these, and as we spoke about yesterday, most of the people, well, probably all of the examiners are not medical experts. What they have what is called a crib sheet. So they have the criteria and they have a model written by a medical expert that tells them what should or should not be in a letter, because the examiners, they're not doctors. If they were doctors, they should be doing what they were trained for, not assessing letters for English. So that's what they have. They have a model. And as I say, there's lots of different ways that you could write this. There's no there's not only one correct way. As long as you've correctly put in the significant factors, then that would be fine. Right, I have to move on because we've still got lots to do and not so much time. 7 letters today. Okay, let's have a look. Writing to refer Miss McGarry. Okay, I'll be grateful if further evaluate and manage his conditions you think best. Okay, this looks a little bit lengthy. Let's have a look. What is it? 252. That's not too bad. 252 could be a little bit shorter, I think. Okay, writing to refer Mr. McGowan is going to refer that. Well, you could instead of having a couple of sentences, you could put this into a single sentence. I'm writing to Mr. McGarry for your further evaluation and management you know, you could include that easily instead of 2 sentences. Starting to refer for your assessment, Mr. McGarry, make it a relative clause, because that's always good. And we don't actually need that. Consistent with, you know. So that would cut like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that would take out 13 words. So instead of 232, you now have what? 219. So that's just one thing that you could do. There's no need for these extraneous extra sentences. You can just do it such as that. Nice and simple. Okay, Mr. McGarry is suffering from this in 2014 and gout. Well, shouldn't you put it there? Putting something and gout in 2014. He has stopped. Well, just before being diagnosed. So shouldn't that be past perfect instead of present? He has stopped just before. So it will be because we've got one past event in in simple past. We need to make the other past event past perfect. So we know which past event finished first. Okay. So he had stopped someone down regarding drug history. Well, I believe it's his because not regarding his drug history, he is taking noticeably. Is it real noticeably? I thought it was only his sister. It's not every family member, is it? I thought it was only his sister. Is it? It noticeably? Noticeably application was and COPD prevail. I wouldn't use that as a verb. It's not prevail or prevalent. It's not that important. So, okay. Previously, had been admitted to hospital acute observation multiple times, despite getting the vaccination. Had been admitted, will be used past perfect there, despite getting those. Yeah, because, okay. Left antibiotics and pulmonary inhibition occurs commonly, 60%, okay. Complaining of shallow breathing and breathlessness, accompanied by severe limitations of day-to-day activities. Well, I don't know if we would say of or severe limitations of his or in his day-to-day. I think in his day-to-day activities is better than of. Into activities, however, was no associated. There was no, or there were no, because we've got two. We've got two things, so make that were instead of was. Very good. And on clinical examination, he was found hyperventilating, or he was found to be hyperventilating, because you can't just find hyperventilating. So we need auxiliary verb. He was found to be hyperventilating together with, well, if it's a note, it's a noun, a phrase, so we need an article, and decreased breath sounds, or breath sounds, or breathing sounds. Spelling function test, so decreased PFI, so the rest of the examination. Don't forget your articles. You're supposed to be writing complete sentences. The rest of the examination, articles, including, the rest of the examination, including an ECG and lab tests, was unremarkable. You had both information, which for assessment, recommend most functions in your care. Okay, now that's not so bad, Okay, just a couple of little grammar points. I just put this on the full screen. Now, okay, again, we're in a bit of a rush. So, does anybody want to come and have a chat? Does anybody want to make any comments? If you do, raise your hand and I'll turn your microphone on. Or you can type it here, but if you raise your hand, I'll turn your microphone on. Anybody? We've still got about 5 letters to go. So it's a little bit rushed, but that's the nature of it for today. Anybody want to say anything's. Breath sounds. Well, I like breath sounds. I think breathing sounds is better. Ah, Fiona, right, hang on. Let me turn your microphone on. Hello, hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, hello. So,
Hello. I have a question regarding this letter.
Mhm.
It's written here, stopped smoking just before being diagnosed with COPD. It's not mentioned in the case note where the patient stopped smoking before or after diagnosis. So
it
can
just said
we
something
assume?
just said something about, was it 5 years ago?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's before or after the diagnosis.
Quit to smoke 5 years ago. It depends. When was it diagnosed? Well, hang on. 5 years ago. So 2014. I suppose if it's now, it's only 4 years ago. So, again, because this is a bit fast, I haven't got time to pay as much attention as I would like. He had stopped smoking hang on, what it says before. So if he stopped smoking 5 years ago, so say, right, what is the date on this letter? So say the date on this letter is 2018, yeah? And he stopped smoking 5 years ago, that would be 2013. And if he was diagnosed in 2014, then he would have stopped before being diagnosed. No?
Is it like just before, like
Well,
my question?
maybe if we take out just.
Yeah.
Maybe if we take out just. If we take out the adverb, just. So it depends on what the date is now. So just for the sake of argument, if we say this letter is dated 2018, so he stopped smoking or he quit 5 years ago, that would be 2013. And the diagnosis was in 2014. So therefore, the timeline is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll just take out that adverb and that should make it okay. Yeah.
Can I ask one more thing, please? What should be a nice sentence to describe his smoking history here? As I think I could write, he had smoked previously, but stopped it 5 years ago.
Or you could say he is an ex-smoker.
Okay.
You could say that too. You could say he used to smoke, or I think I would probably say he was an ex-smoker. He is, for your information, he's an ex-smoker who quit 5 years ago, or he's an ex-smoker who has been smoke-free for 5 years. You could use that as well.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's okay. Right, back to the plot because we've still got a load of letters. Sorry, to get through. And I haven't got that much time. So that's on to the next. On to the next. It's a bit quick, but as I said, nothing we can do about that. So, writing to refer Mr. McGarry to COPD. As I said, what you could do when you've got an abbreviation is to spell the abbreviation out first, and then you can use it. COPD, 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 etc. Something for assessment and management. Again, you can, as we saw, you can put these two sentences together. There's no need to have it all, to have like two. I'm writing to refer for your assessment, Mr. McGarry, relative clause, who is suffering, or, so that's what you could do. If, that's okay, but if you want to make it concise, if we check the word count, 214, that's pretty good. That isn't bad. Heavy smoker before quitting. Well, it's again, is 14 a day really heavy? I don't know. So 5 years ago, or you could say something like regarding his medical history, he's an ex, a smoker, etc. Can we put a comma before who? It depends if it's a defining or non-defining relative clause. So let's see, he is immunized. Now, okay, we've got some sentences here. So we've got like what, 3 sentences here. Mr. McGarry, he is immunized, he has a history of gout, his family history. Could we not put this into a single sentence? Could we not make this shorter and more concise? He's an ex, a smoker, you could say that. Does it matter if he quit 5 years ago? Maybe not. Mr. McGarry, so something like, for your information, I always think it's best to have something like, it's called a gambit, an introductory phrase or expression. So some people like to put something such as this. Regarding his medical, regarding his medical history, regarding his medical and social history, etc. Or for your information, or it could be noted that, etc. Just instead of dropping a sentence in, put a little gambit in front of it. Okay. So, immunized against, do we need this? Do we need this? That he has flu immunization. Do we need this? What do you think? So we could cut this down. We could certainly cut something down in that paragraph, I think. He has immunized against flu. So Mr. McGarry is an a smoker with no known allergies and a history of gout. So you could put those 3 into a single sentence. If you think the vaccine is important, okay, include it. If you must, his current medications, okay. Mr. McGarry was diagnosed with COPD 2014. Additionally, he was admitted to hospital twice, 2016, 2017, in which he was treated. There's a P of 14. So additionally, he was admitted to hospital twice, in which he was treated with intravenous antibiotics. Do we really need that? I mean, we would presume he would have some kind of treatment. Okay. So somebody says that gout is not important. Okay. So yeah, if you don't need it, don't include it. So we could have had those like 3 sentences together. Okay, that's not bad. In which was treated as hospital. Right. Today, he believes current medical issue has significantly affected daily life activities. Her? Okay. Don't need an article in front of that. Including homo to therapy, should really quiz, contact me. Okay, that's not so bad. Not so bad. Oh, right, well, they've got 10 minutes left, and we've got 10 minutes left. Oh, time running out. Article in front of hospital? No, because, you don't use one. A hospital, no. Hospital, it's a noun, but here it's an abstract. It doesn't actually matter if it was the hospital or a, so I would not have an article in front of hospital. Wouldn't have one there. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. We haven't got a lot of time left. If you want to, can you score these letters? No, because I haven't got time for it. You've sent me 7 or, what was it? 10? Hang on. Joseph sent me 7. There's about another 7 letters. That's 14. I don't have the time for that. I'm just going to have a quick run through something every day. Just point out the major errors or mistakes if you have any. So, does anybody want to make any comments? Quick. We've got 8 minutes left. I might put on another session for another 10 minutes, take it up to an hour. But does anybody have any questions? Any questions? I don't want to be rude, but we haven't got a lot of time. Anybody got any questions? No, right. So moving along. Let's see. Thank you, Stephen. So give us your first panel, Harry. Again, you know, folks. Somebody's got a question. Well, as I said, they have a model. They have a model. The examiners, right? They have a model answer in which the doctors say what. So they have like a checklist of things that should be included. So that's how it works. Okay. Right. Let's get on with it. Again, I'm seeing the same sentences again, the same sentences. You can put, you know, right, if you want to stand out, be original. If you want to stand out, be original. If you keep using the same sentences that everybody else does, that's what the examiners say. So it's up to you. But again, you could put that into a single sentence. Mr. Bigger's, what's this? Has been diagnosed. If we know when, why are you using present perfect? It should be simple past, because we know when the past event occurred. Right, so was diagnosed. Was diagnosed. Simple past, we don't need the present perfect. You only need the present perfect when we don't know when the past activity occurred. So, well, no, right. 3 months ago? No, 3 years ago. Well, even if it was 3 years ago, still, it would be simple past. Ahmed says, well, I use marks for repetition. Well, no, but you won't be gaining marks. You know, you won't be gaining marks because they want you to show, you know, a wide range of grammar and structure. Now, look, most of you are aiming for a B, a solid B. Well, the old looking B, a 380 upwards. Okay, but if you want to get an A, then this kind of using the same sentences as everybody else, you know, using the same language and repetition, that's not the way to get an A. But I understand that most of you are not aiming for an A, so in that sense, it doesn't actually matter. So, was diagnosed, exhibited such chest infections, source from gout. Do we need this? He quit. Quitted is not the past tense of quit. It's quit. Quit smoking 5 years ago. Okay, sisters. I thought he only had one. Yeah, he's only got one. Oops. Where are we? Oh, yeah. Only got one sister. I quit smoking years ago, COPD, so we don't need the gout. So we can take that out. Okay, quit smoking 5 years ago. And has a family. And has a family history. Get that out. Put it into that. No need for sisters, is it? Hang on. He has got two. Is it? Sister. Oh. I thought I had one. Well, this is what happens when I'm in a hurry. I haven't got time. You keep sending me tens of letters every day. Right? What do you expect? I haven't got time. We've got to blast through this as quickly as possible. Okay? Your exam's on Saturday, you know. Why do you wait till 2 or 3 days before then send me 100 million billion letters for correction. What do you think I can do? Anyway, on with the plot. So, on discharge, attack of chest infection, 69% report were commenced. Well, right, all biotics, all the commence, the subplan, that's a bit awkward sentence, slightly awkward phrasing, slightly awkward, all biotics. And he was prescribed oral antibiotics and introduced to a rehabilitation plan instead of just using that. Okay, today's review, since the last visit, to the extent he was unable, well, and I won't use was because he's reviewing now. I know you're reporting it, it's in the past, was reported speech, but still it's happening, look, now, so I would use present simple because it's routine, it's a habit, yeah? So he is unable now to conduct his daily activities. He also complained of increased anxiety and depression. Okay. Examination, resonance, decreased breath sounds, was declined. Why is it passive? Declined by whom? Finally, a plan for psychological and a respiratory assessment. What is this? Respiratory assessments. Why do we have a singular article? Plan for psychological. So a plan for, get rid of that, psychological and respiratory assessments, because psychological and respiratory were planned. Okay, so we've got 1 + 1 is 2, were planned. Right, in view of the above, guidance concerning his cure plan. Cure plan, his recovery plan, because cure, recovery, not the same thing. Okay, should be any queries, not hesitate to contact me. Right, that's not so bad, Also reports the pain there was. Well, I haven't got time to address all these. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to schedule a meeting. I'm going to schedule, if I can, I don't know if I can do it here, or if I've got to do it, if I've got to close this meeting, I might have to. So what I'll do, we've got less than a minute. So I'm going to close this down and I'm going to post a fresh link in the channel so we can come straight back. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this now and I'll post a link in the channel and we'll come straight back.